Let's go.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live Art Mini at InsideOut Studio. We are back in action with your Wednesday art source. I've got Brett Garrett here with me. As always, I forget the titles up on the screen. That's me, Stephen Smith, and we also have Mr. Garrett here. Brett, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
To Madison and Anna?
Madison and Anna. And who are Madison and Anna?
Madison is my old buddy and Anna is my new buddy.
Okay, from Best Buddies.
Oh yeah.
So those of you that aren't familiar with Best Buddies, it's a program up at Miami University in Oxford where the students partner with individuals with disabilities in the community and they hang out. Well, you describe what types of things do you guys do?
Oh, we used to go different places.
Like?
Sometimes restaurants.
Go out to eat together? That's cool. You guys do ice skating together too? I've heard that's an event too.
Oh yeah.
Hang out with the Miami hockey team, that's awesome. And then we also have Miss Kara Bergdorf here. Let me slide the screen over.
Hi out there.
Kara, who would you like to give a shout out to?
My mom, my cat, and my 3 brothers, Scott, Matt, and John.
Nice.
Hi.
And I'm going to give a shout out to my wife, Jen, my lovely wife, Jen. Hello, I hear that you're watching. And then today is actually our anniversary. We've been married for 15 awesome years. So I want to say hello to my wife, happy anniversary, and also my son, Kobe, who's 2.5, if he's out there watching. He's not quite into making art yet, but he's trying. So I'm going to slide it back over here. We're going to start off with Brett. We've got a couple different examples of things to do with you today. We're going to be focusing on poured paintings. And Brett, you've got an example of a poured painting we've done in the studio here. You just want to flip it over. There we go. So poured painting is when you take very liquid and viscous paint, pour it together on the canvas, and lots of cool things start to happen. I've got another example here from the studio. As you can see, the paint just kind of does its own thing and moves around on the canvas. And it's been quite popular lately. It's been kind of a trend to do some poured paintings. I'm going to pull up some examples here to show you. Here's an example of a close-up of a poured painting on canvas. You can see the paint's just kind of doing its own thing and mixing together. And you've got some nice swirls that can happen, like this example here. What's cool is the paint kind of stays in its own little world, and all the purple and the yellow and the orange and the blue, they kind of stick to their own colors and they don't mix too much. And we've got some ingredients to put into our paints to show you how to make that happen. Here's another one that has a slightly different texture to it. Brett, what do you think of that?
Oh well, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I like it too. I like all those colors as well. And then we're gonna jump into how to mix paints, where to find the materials to make your poured paintings. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Sherry Armstead and Symmetry Boutique and Gallery in Fairfield. They are our annual sponsor for Live Art Mini, so we want to give a shout out and a big thank you to Sherry and Symmetry. Thank you for supporting the studio. So we're going to do 2 projects today, 2 different techniques that you can do with poured painting. And I see Amanda Dotson from the Fitness Center is watching as well. I know she's a big fan of Inside Out, big supporter of the studio. She picked up some Sasquatch coasters made by Dwayne Sparks just the other day. So thanks for watching, Amanda, and thanks for supporting our artists. But the first project we're going to do with Brett is we're going to show you how to mix the additives into your acrylic paints to get that nice viscous, liquidy, syrupy-like texture that makes some awesome poured paintings. So Brett, would you like to pick some colors? Tell me what colors you like to use today.
There's one color like this up.
Which one is from the example that we had up here?
Oh, yes.
Let me pull up these examples so Brett can pick out which ones he liked. Was it better 1?
It was that one?
Or better 2?
That one, that's that.
Oh, the first one here? So we're going to mix colors just like this. So we got some nice purple, white, blue, and gold that we're going to shoot for. All right, so we're going to pull up the paint card here. So get some examples. Here's our gold. You want a light blue or a dark blue?
Light blue?
A lighter blue. All right, so get some light blue here. And then we also said some violet or purple. We still don't know what's most appropriate, violet or purple. Which one do you like to use, Brett? I think we need some white too. Carrie, you got some white back there?
Oh, right.
Some white paint, please, Terry Berry.
Hey, thank you.
Good job, Terry.
Thank you,
Terry Elms is also in the house. We got Stevie Gall here as well.
Good job, Terry.
All right. I hear Sherry Armstead student. Hello, Sherry.
Hello, Terry.
Bye.
Thanks for your sponsorship.
Thank you, Terry.
And then we got a couple materials. We're using just regular acrylic paints that you can buy in the store. There's going to be some additives added to it, like I said, to give it that nice liquid feel, like you're pouring syrup, like you're pouring honey, and letting the paint do its own thing.
This is the float.
It's a flood. So Kara's passing this flood over to me. You can pick this up in any hardware store. It's about 14, 15 bucks a gallon. If you're using it for art purposes, that goes a long, long way. So what we're going to do is add some Floetrol into our acrylic paints.
And then we also have the WD-40.
WD-40. Hey, we should go into commercials. That was good.
Wow, good job, Terry.
So we've got some silicone lubricant as well. It's waterproof, so it's going to help with the viscosity of the paint and keeping all those colors separate from each other. So it just takes a spray of this and then a little bit of water to thin it down. It never hurts to be...
Like this, people.
There we go. Thank you, Kara.
Stink bug.
Good job, Terry.
So we're piling up the materials here, Brett. So we're going to mark off 2 lines on this cup for you. And this shows you the ratio.
One
So we're going to go up...
and 2, people.
All right, so we're going to go up that high with the acrylic paint, and then we're going to add the Floetrol,
And
the
the
flood,
lubricant.
up to the top. And then just a squirt of lubricant, and then a squirt of water to thin it out. So really, it's 1 part acrylic paint, 2 parts Floetrol flood, a squirt of lubricant, and then some water to thin it out. So let's do, we've got some white already. Terry brought us some white, so we're going to set that to the
We
side.
have white paint, people. Out there in the world who are watching today.
I like it, Kara, that's awesome.
Good job.
So Brett, how about I put you in charge of the flood?
And I'll do the water stink bug.
You want to do the water? Okay. We're going to fill this up, then we're going to slide it over to Kara to do the water. We're going to start it off by just filling up to the first line with the acrylic paint. And then Brett, would you like to take it up to the second line with the flood?
Floetrol.
Keep going there right till we get to that line. Thank you. Very good. And then this is like a cooking show. We'll just add a dash of silicone. And Kara, would you like to add some water here?
There you go, stink bug.
Thank you.
No
And if you didn't catch that, my nickname in the studio on Kara Days is
Stink bug Steven.
Stink Bug Steven, live from Inside Out. I think our ratings are going to go up since you guys joined the cast here. So
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, stink bug.
thank you, Kara.
You're
All right.
welcome.
If you want to keep mixing that, it does take a little bit of mixing to get all those colors together. I'm going to keep mixing the colors that Brett picked out. We're going to go with the gold next.
And the blue.
And
Right,
we've
stink bug?
got the blue in action right now. So remember, 1 part acrylic paint, 2 parts
Blood, people.
flood. I'm going to slide this over. Kara, you want to help out with the flood?
Hi out there. Thank you, stink bug. I would love to.
All right. And we'll just keep pouring until I say when.
Okay.
That's good.
Thank you.
And then we can add some of the water to it.
A little bit of this.
And then I'll do the silicone.
There we go, stink bug Steven.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to hand this back to you. And grab you a brush, and you can start stirring up the gold for Brett.
Sure thing, stink bug.
And then nothing fancy. We use the handles of our paint brushes to stir up our paint. So if you want to get stirring on that, we're going to check back in here with Brett, see how he's doing. Got too much stuff in the way as always. Hey, that's a nice blue. So what's really cool about this product Flood is that if you've ever used thinners or let's say glazes, if you're using acrylic paints, you'll get more of a transparent look to it. It does thin it down. But the flood is really nice because it suspends the pigment and it still has a nice opaque feel to it. So
There you go, stink bug.
thank you, Kara. It doesn't make it too transparent. All those colors really hold up when you pour them onto the canvas together. So we've got white, we've got gold. That gold's a little dark. I'm going to throw some yellow in there too.
Steven is about to put some yellow in, people.
That's it. Yeah.
Here we go.
Very good.
A little bit of yellow goes a long way.
It's got some nice sound effects too.
Thank you, Steven.
And what was our last color? We said
Was it purple?
it was purple. Just testing
And
you.
as you guys know, purple is my favorite color.
I thought it was pink.
Purple and pink are both, them both.
So we got a nice light gold. We've got some blue.
And purple.
Last but not least is purple.
Steven is about to add in right now.
And we'll say it again. Your ratios for mixing are 1 part paint and 2 parts flood.
And a
That was
dash
well dried
of
up.
water, people.
That one good?
That one is perfect, Brett. Thank you.
What was it? What was it?
Yep, I'll rinse that off for you. Okay, we're gonna add, would you like to add the Floetrol?
Oh, yeah.
The flood?
The flood.
Kara, are you excited to be back in the studio?
Yes, I am, stink bug.
We're gonna add some water. All right, that's good. And then 1 dash of silicone. And just to reiterate, you can find the Floetrol Flood in most hardware stores. You can find silicone in the hardware stores as well. That's going to be in the automotive section. And you can find water in your tap. You can find the best water in Hamilton. We've won some awards.
Hamilton water is definitely the best, people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
You want to keep mixing that one up? And I'm going to clear some way. That way when we get to your project, we'll have some room here.
That is correct.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab Brett's colors. We've got white, gold, blue, and purple. We're going to walk over to our canvas cam where you can see a little bit closer action happening as he pours it onto the canvas. And then the technique that we're going to use, thank you, Brett. I'm going to do one little extra mix there just to get some off the surface.
And then I explain how Brett does it.
Yes. All right, so the technique Brett's going to use is he's going to pour all of his colors into one container and then completely dump that over. So this is having all that paint and all those colors intermingle into the cup itself and then letting it do its own magic when it hits the canvas. So we're going to jump over here. So Brett, we're going to head on over to where our canvas is set up and I'll bring these paints over for you.
Don't forget the microphone there, stink bug.
You got it. And then everyone can see you mix your colors together. We're just going to put that there right in the center. Just going to turn our laptop so we can see what's going on. And then Brett, if you want to go ahead and start pouring some of the colors in, we're going to see how they mix together.
You might want to take that to his shirt.
All right, and you can select some of your other colors to start mixing in there as well.
You just put the gold and the blue in.
That's awesome, Kara. You can do the commentary. What's going in next?
Next goes in the white, people. And after white comes the purple.
What do you think? Should we give it a stir first before we pour it all out?
Yes, we should. Stink bug.
All right, Kara, do you mind grabbing a brush from back where we were?
Sure. Which brush was it?
Either one in the bucket right there.
Okay.
All right, and while she's grabbing you a brush, I'm just going to move this to the side, and we're going to put our canvas front and center.
Here you go, Brett. You are love that.
All right, so Brett's gonna just give it a few stirs just to get those colors intermixed together.
And then he is going to
And that's good like that.
pour them on the canvas.
And then, Brett, I'm gonna let you choose. Do you wanna do a slow pour or you just wanna dump the whole thing all at once? Slow first? Okay. We'll let Brett do his magic.
Brett is now doing a slow pour painting.
It even looks like that gold's gonna come out at the very end there.
Yes, it is, Steve-Bug.
All right, you've got all your paint out there. And at this point, to get the edges, I know this is a little bit of a messier technique that we use in the studio, but you can go ahead and grab that canvas. And we can even rotate it around. So if you want to pick up the canvas from either side and just tilt it slightly, you just want to go slow at first, and you start to move that paint around so it covers all the edges. That's pretty cool. And you can see little pockets of color start to reveal themselves as you go.
That is true, Stephen. That is definitely true.
And when you pour all the paints into the one container and let them mix themselves, you get some more unexpected things happening on the canvas itself. Ooh, that's good how it goes over the edge like that. If you're doing this at home, a drop cloth is highly recommended.
Or
Very cool.
paper towels. Oops.
Is that to your liking? Okay. That's all right. All right, Kara and Brett, we're going to walk back over to where we were. We're going to do a quick cleanup of our area and get ready for Kara's example. And then in between, we've got a slight little commercial here. Kim Neal Davis, our marketing and finance director, went to visit with Sherry Armstead over at Symmetry Gallery. And we have a nice segment to show you about what they're offering there right now. So we're just going to jump to that.
Hi, I'm Sherry. I'm here at Symmetry Bookkeeping Gallery. I'm happy to see you all and hoping you'll come and see us. We've been here since 2002, and we started out in
Thank you, Stephen.
and changed our name 3 years ago to Symmetry Bookkeeping Gallery. I want to show you our most popular item. Now that lots of us are staying at home enjoying our garden, this is called a peace pole, and we have any number of them on our website, symmetrybookkeepinggalleries.com, and you can purchase them there or you can come to the store. This is our most popular one, and it's used a lot of times as a sympathy gift. So those you love don't go away and go inside us every day. And it's easy to install. This pokes into the ground and this goes over it. If you enjoy this, come see us.
All right, thank you very much, Sherry, and thank you, Symmetry Gallery, once again for your sponsorship. So, Kara, you're up next. We're going to do something a little bit different. Brett did the all-in-one, pour your paints into a container, and then let it do its work on the canvas. And then Kara's going to do more of a manual piece where you're dumping one color at a time. So she gets to choose whatever color she likes. So we had these paints prepped already by the awesome Terry Elm. Hey, shout out to Terry!
There you go, too. Yeah.
And then you get to choose, let's say, maybe 5 colors. How about that?
Orange, purple, yellow, green, and blue.
All right. So we got Kara's 5 colors that we're going to take over to the new canvas to work on. And then also want to remind you that you can add those, the additives are Flood Floetrol and also silicone lubricant. That way it makes that nice viscous fluid feel to your paint as you start to pour it on there. And we are going to switch back to our canvas cam. And then I'm going to help you.
Canvas cam.
Canvas cam. We're going to walk back over there. Oh, there's a fresh canvas. Ready to go?
Yep.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, Brett, come along with us. We'll see what Kara's going to make. All right, so you selected blue. That's more of a turquoise. Green, orange, yellow,
And purple.
and purple. Which one would you like to start with?
I think I'll do the purple first.
Okay, so you can go ahead and take the cap off of that.
Yep.
Now there's different ways. You could pour out large areas, you could drizzle it here and there. I'll leave it up to you to put the purple on. I will suggest not using all the purple, maybe save some for later.
Okay.
Wow. Looking pretty good.
Thank you, Brett.
All right, what's coming up next there, Kara?
The orange
Alrighty.
color is next.
So we're gonna get some orange. So this is a nice way to make the poured painting last a little bit longer. You can decide where the colors are gonna start off initially. And then Kara's jumping into the yellow.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got some stripes happening here.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Thank you, stink bug. Next will be the turquoise.
Very nice.
Yep.
So we're laying your base coat down. You're doing a little bit of even pouring of all 5 colors you selected.
Yep. And my last color, people, is green.
Very cool. Now before you go for your next layer on top, do you want to move the canvas around or make it tilt in any way? I'll take that as a yes. You can see those colors start to fold over top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
It is a little bit messy, but that's okay.
Yep.
I'll grab some paper towels for you. And then as you start to layer on top, maybe pour some of the colors on top of each other in different ways. You could do drips, strips, drops.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Paper
Terry.
towels at the ready whenever you like them. And since you've got purple there already, maybe you could start incorporating purple in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
I like your stripe technique.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, people out there, for watching.
Yeah, she reminds me. Give us a like, give us a heart, give us a comment if you're out there watching.
Like my mom.
Yep, Mom, if you're watching, let Kara know. And then anytime you can stop and do some twisting, turning, move your canvas around, do some drips, drops. There, look at that flowing. That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
So what's cool about this, reminds me of Jackson Pollock a little bit, how the paint just does its own thing. It's really fluid and just kind of moves and turns.
Yuck.
It gets rid of what we call the artist hand. So most paintings that we look at, you can see a deliberate mark making or drawing style on the canvas, but this lets the paint do its own thing.
Uh-huh.
All right, going against the grain in the opposite direction, really getting those mixed together.
Yep. The next color, which would be my yellow.
Right here we have a Sandra watching. Does anyone know a Sandra? Hello, Sandra. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you're enjoying watching Kara and Brett make some poured paintings. And Kara, your mom is watching.
Hi, Mom. There we go.
Nice. You got some spots down here. One thing to think about with the poured painting is always want to get your edges. So you can either do that by tilting it one way or the other, or by pouring on the paint just to cover up the canvas.
Uh-huh. There we go.
Okay. What do you think about adding a little more purple? We've got a lot of, just a little purple showing. Some of that dark purple could really set some of the other colors off. There we go.
There we go.
Cool. All right. Any other touches that you want to make to that painting?
Nope.
What would you call this? Do you have a title for this?
The messy rainbow.
Messy rainbow. There we go. It's addictive, isn't it? Once you start pouring, it's hard to stop. I like all those bright colors. Very good. Thank you, Sarah. All right, we're also gonna pan the cam here because in the studio as well. We've got Stevie Gall. Stevie Gall. Hey, there's Stevie. Give me all thumbs up. So Stevie and Trey have also been working on poured paintings as we've been doing our examples here. Brett and I are going to jump back to the main table and send you off. Thanks all for joining in today, Live Art Mini. We hope you enjoyed checking out our poured paintings, the different techniques that we were working on. I also want to point out a few other things in the studio. We've got this awesome shark painting that Brett created. That was your first piece. I mean, it's been sitting half done for like 2.5 months. So it's the first piece that Brett completed when he got back into the studio. And then if you want to tell everyone, how do you feel about getting back to work, getting back to the studio? Feels good? It does feel good. It feels good to get back to a little bit of normal. We want to give a quick shout out once again to Symmetry Gallery for being our year sponsor for Live Art Mini. Go check them out. They're in Fairfield. Got a great selection of artwork to choose from. And then also want to say, check out our links in the comment section because we've done a lot of live art minis already between myself and Amanda Joy. And you can go find them on our YouTube page if you ever need something to do or a little art project on the side. And also don't forget our storefront is open so you can come check out the artwork that Kara and Brett have made and have been making. Kara wants to say a big bye to you.
Bye out there.
Kara, what did you make this morning that people could check out in the store?
2 ring dishes.
2 ring dishes. Something nice. Yes.
2 rainbow ring dishes.
So something that you can hang out by the sink, in the kitchen, or in the bathroom. Put your rings on when you're washing your hands. So a little something, something.
Yes.
And then half the proceeds would go back to Kara directly. The rest go for materials in the program. But our storefront is open. Our hours are 10 to 4 Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday. If you don't feel like getting back out into the swing of things, we also have curbside pickup. So you can just call the store. You can order online as well. We do have almost all of our artwork online now, thanks to Kim, who put together that online store. So you can do some shopping on your computer while still supporting Inside Out and the artists that are here. So this is Stephen Smith.
Click like and subscribe.
And Kara.
And make sure you buy something.
And make sure you buy something, Brett. That's right. We're saying signing off, saying thanks for joining us once again for Live Art Mini. It's good to be back in the studio and it's good to be back on Facebook. So we'll see you next week. We're going to be demonstrating some of the fused glass that we do here by doing some patriotic sun catchers for the 4th of July. So bye-bye now. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye now.